Today's episode of Aquatic Wetline is brought to you by Oasis Aquatics. Find your Oasis today. Find your next fish at oasisaquaticsnj.com. Check out Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram.
From the hit series Life in the Amazon comes an all-new spin-off focused on animal life centering on the African rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life in Africa. From the intimidating Nile crocodile with its razor-sharp teeth and its predatory instincts to the gorgeous African cichlids and tropical fish. To the hungry hippos, the mighty lions, friendly zebras, and the tall reticulated giraffes, every animal from Africa will be discussed. Life in Africa goes live right now. Please press start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life in Africa. I'm your host, Aqua Alex CARDINALE. Tonight, we are taking a trip to Lake Malawi, and we are going to learn about Lake Malawi, one of the largest lakes in the entire world. Lake Malawi is home to over 700 species of cichlids. And most of those species of cichlids are very popular in the aquarium hobby. A majority of African cichlids that enter the aquarium hobby come from Lake Malawi. So join me tonight as we travel to Lake Malawi to learn about one of the largest lakes in the world. We will learn some information on Lake Malawi. We will learn about some of the fish species that call Lake Malawi home. And then we will learn about hippos and Nile crocodiles, which are some of the larger aquatic animals that call Lake Malawi home. And then from Aquarium, we're going to have tips from Aquarium on successfully creating a Lake Malawi biotope cichlid aquarium at home. You know, one of my goals this year is for my 31st birthday to finally set up a African cichlid tank. And I'm going to have some haps and peacocks in there from Lake Malawi. And then from Lake Tanganyika, I'm going to have some frontosas. So for my 31st birthday, I will be a African cichlid keeper for the first time. But that's several months away. My birthday is not until August. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's show. Whether you're watching me live or you're catching the replay of today's show, I appreciate your view. As always, feel free to post any comments, thoughts, or suggestions in the comments, and be sure to hit the like button. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this fun episode started. And let's start by learning about Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi, one of my favorite lakes from Africa, because I enjoy the Malawi African cichlids the most, although I do love frontosas from Lake Tanganyika. All right, so let's learn about Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi is also known as Lake Niger in Tanzania and Lago Nyasa in Mozambique. It is an African Great Lake and the southernmost lake in the East African Rift System, located between Malawi, Mozambique, and Tanzania. So I'm pretty sure I just butchered some of those country names, but it's all right. Lake Malawi is also known as Lake Nyasa and Lago Nyasa. It is the fourth largest freshwater lake in the world by volume, the 9th largest lake in the world by area, and the 3rd largest and 2nd deepest lake in Africa. Lake Malawi is home to more species of fish than any other lake in the world, including at least 700 species of cichlids. That's a lot of species of cichlids, ladies and gentlemen. The Mozambique portion of the lake was officially declared a reserve by the government of Mozambique on June 10th, 2011, while in Malawi, a portion of the lake is included in Lake Malawi National Park. Lake Malawi is a memortic lake, meaning that its water layers do not mix. The permanent stratification of Lake Malawi's water and the oceanic boundary are maintained by moderately small chemical and thermal gradients. Lake Malawi is between 560 kilometers, which is 350 miles, and 580 kilometers, which is 360 miles long, and about 75 kilometers, 47 miles wide at its widest point. The lake has a total surface area of about 29,600 square kilometers, which is 11,400 square miles. The lake has shorelines on western Mozambique, eastern Malawi, and southern Tanzania. The largest river flowing into it is the Ruhuhu River, and there is an outlet at its southern end, the Sheer River, a tributary that flows into the very large Zambezi River in Mozambique. Evaporation accounts for more than 80% of the water loss from the lake, considerably more than the outflowing Shire River. The outflows from Lake Malawi into the Shire River are vital for the economy, as the water resources support hydropower, irrigation, and downstream biodiversity. Lake Malawi is about 350 kilometers, 220 miles southeast of Lake Tanganyika, another of the Great Lakes of the East African Rift. Malawi is one of the major Rift Valley lakes and is an ancient lake. The lake lies in a valley formed by the opening of the East African Rift, where the African tectonic plate is being split into 2 pieces. This is called a divergent plate tectonics boundary. Malawi has typically been estimated to be 1 to 2 million years old, but more recent evidence points to a considerably older lake with a basin that started to form about 8.6 MYA, and deep water conditions first appeared 4.5 million years ago. The lake's water is alkaline, pH of about 7.7 to 8.6, and warm with a typical surface temperature between 75 and 84 degrees Fahrenheit, while deep sections typically are about 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Wildlife found in and around Lake Malawi includes Nile crocodiles, hippopotamus, monkeys, and a significant population of African fish eagles that feed off fish from the lake. Lake Malawi has for millennia provided a major food source to the residents of its shores, since its waters are rich in fish. Lake Malawi is noted for being the site of evolutionary radiations among several groups of animals, most notably cichlids, cichlid fish. There are at least 700 cichlid species in Lake Malawi, with some estimating that the actual figure is as high as 1,000 species. The actual number is labeled with some uncertainty because of the many undescribed species and the extreme variation among some species, making the task of delimiting them very complex. Many of these cichlids have become popular among aquarium hobbyists due to their bright colors. Recreating a Lake Malawi biotope to host cichlids has become very popular in the aquarium hobby. Most Malawi cichlids are found in relatively shallow coastal waters. The cichlids of Malawi Lake are typically divided into two groups, and the vast majority of the species are haplochromines. Within the Malawi haplochromines, there are two main groups, the haps and the mbuna. The haps, they were formerly included in Haplochromis, can be further subdivided into three subgroups. The relatively large, often more than 8 inches long, and aggressive fishivores that roam various habitats in pursuit of prey, which is generally your Malawi eyebiters, Malawi gars, Malawi barracuda, and Malawi hawks. There is the open water species, although often not far from sand or rocks, and these are called Eutaka. Eutaka cichlids feed in schools on zooplankton and typically are of medium size. And finally, a subgroup of aberrant species that essentially are defined by them not fitting clearly into the other subgroups. Adult male haps generally display bright colors, while juveniles of both sexes and adult females typically show a silvery or gray coloration with sometimes irregular black bars or other markings, but as they mature, they will get more colorful. The second main haplochromine group are the mbuna, a name used both locally and popularly, which means rockfish in Tonga. They are found at rocky outcrops, territorially aggressive, although they're commonly found in high densities, and they are often specialized aphwix feeders. The mbuna species tend to be relatively small, mostly less than 5 inches long, and often both sexes are brightly colored, with males having egg-shaped yellow spots on their anal fin, a feature particularly prevalent in the mbuna, but not exclusive to this group. Now, the second group is tilapia. Tilapia has 6 species in 2 genera in Lake Malawi. The red breast tilapia, which is a widespread African species, is the only substrate spawning cichlid in the lake. Other fish in Lake Malawi include spiny eels, mormids, which include things like the dolphin fish, the elephant nose, etc., catfish, Synodontis, Claris cats, and spotted killifish. So that is some information on Lake Malawi. Now let's check out our live comments because I see we have some comments here in the chat. All right, let's see here. We have someone on Facebook watching. What's up, A.C.E? How are you, brother? Thank you so much for tuning in. Is the Madagascar cichlid African? Sorry if that's a dumb question. No, absolutely not. It is not a dumb question. Any question to me is a good question. And yes, the Madagascar cichlid is an African cichlid, but it comes from a different lake. Aquarium Obsession, Matt is my dad, and I'm here with him in the hospital. Hey, Matt, I hope you're feeling a lot better. Our Facebook group founder from Aquarium Obsession is currently in the hospital, and I would like to send my well wishes to our friend Matt. Matt is an outstanding tropical fish keeper. He's always supporting my live streams and all my videos. So I greatly appreciate Matt. I hope you feel better. And just know that I care about you, and everyone at Aquarium Obsession cares about you as well. Peacocks. Peacocks are one of my favorite African cichlids, and they come from Lake Malawi as well. And we have my friend Jeff in the house. Hey, Jeff, how are you? All right, so we gave out some information on Lake Malawi. Now let's get to the fun stuff. And the fun stuff is actually talking about the fish that come from Lake Malawi. So let's start talking about Lake Malawi fish. And as I said earlier, mostly the fish in Lake Malawi is predominantly cichlids. There are over 700 species of cichlids at Lake Malawi. The first group of African cichlids found in Lake Malawi are known as mbunas. These are the most popular African cichlids in the aquarium hobby. These include cichlids like the yellow lab and many other cichlids. The yellow lab is probably the most common mbuna. So, mbuna is a common name for a large group of African cichlids from Lake Malawi, and they are members of the haplochromine family. The name mbuna means rockfish in the language of the Tonga people of Malawi. As the name implies, most mbuna are cichlids that live among the piles of rocks and along the rocky shores of Lake Malawi, as opposed to the Utaka, cichlids that live in the open water or on sandy shores or soft substrates. Some species of mbuna are highly sexually dimorphic, although many are not. Almost all of the cichlid species of Lake Malawi, including mbuna and non-mbuna, such as the Utaka, are believed to have descended from one or a very few species that became isolated in the lake. With rising water levels, new habitats could be colonized, and the many isolated rocky outcrops allowed new mbuna species to form. Their striking colors, interesting behavioral characteristics, and relative hardiness make them very popular despite their unique demands for the home aquarist. These cichlids are some of the most colorful freshwater fish for the home aquarium. Mbuna are very aggressive and territorial. They are not recommended for beginner fish keepers. A suitable aquarium setting includes many rocks, adequate filtration, caves, and hiding places. Plants may be uprooted, so they are best avoided, but a small number will work well in the aquarium. One of these is Java fern, which may become the object of mbuna aggression, but will not be eaten due to an undesirable taste. So that is the mbuna. Now we're going to learn about some of my personal favorite African cichlids from Lake Malawi. That is the peacocks and haps, and this includes the fishivorous predatory haps and predatory peacocks. These guys are very, very colorful fish, and they're very beautiful. So let's learn about peacocks and haps. Now, Alanacora is a genus of haplochromine cichlids endemic to Lake Malawi in East Africa. All Alacornia species are maternal mouth brooders, particularly in the aquarium hobby. Alacornia species are also known as peacock cichlids or simply peacocks. This genus is strongly sexual dichromic, even by haplochroma standards. As aquarium fish, they are best kept with other medium-sized, non-aggressive cichlids from Lake Malawi. All peacock cichlids are known to be less aggressive than their Mbiuna counterparts and thrive in warmer waters that have a slightly basic pH. And the predatory haps also live in Lake Malawi. The predatory haps include Malawi gar, Malawi barracuda, Malawi hawk, etc. So I am relatively new to African cichlids. You can't tell already. I've never kept them before. So the African cichlids that I like the most are the peacocks. So these are the peacocks that I would like to keep when I get my African cichlid tank up and running. I would like to keep some sunshine peacocks, some dragon blood peacocks, some flavescent peacocks, blue dragon blood, blue neons, blue friar eye peacocks, eukarya peacocks, lemon jake peacocks. So those are the peacocks that I want to keep. So as you can see, before I went live tonight, I did some research on the different peacock species. Now for the predatory haps, I would like to keep Malawi barracuda. They're very nice. Malawi gar, Malawi hawk, and the Malawi eye biter. And then some other peacocks that are of interest of me would be the bicolor peacock, the OB peacock, the red shoulder peacock, the ruby red peacock, the VC10. So those are just some examples of the peacock species and the haps that you will find from Lake Malawi, and those are the ones that I would personally enjoy keeping in my African cichlid aquarium once I get it up and running. All right, let's see. Hey, Alex, I sent you a private message to you on Facebook Messenger, and it's about my father. He wanted me to tell you what happened. Okay, thank you so much for letting me know. I definitely will check it out after the show. And Matt here, family is with me. Hey, Matt, how are you? Thank you so much for watching the show. Even when you're in the hospital, you tune in. That's a real fan. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. And Matt says, Mbiuna, all male, overstock for no aggression. Very, very well said, Matt. I definitely agree with you on that. All right, so now that we have learned about the African cichlids, the Mbiunas, the peacocks, and the haps that call Lake Malawi home, the only other cichlid species you'll find in Lake Malawi would be tilapia. And tilapia aren't really interesting considering that we eat tilapia, and I feed tilapia to my datnoid, my arowana, and my limelight shovelnose. Although, believe it or not, there are people out there that like to keep tilapia as pets. My dad at one point kept tilapia as a pet, but I don't. They're just food fish to us here in America. But I guess in other countries, some people keep tilapia pets. So some different types of Mbiunas would be the yellow lab, yellowtail A.C.E, and the blue dolphin. Very, very cool. The blue dolphin is actually a very beautiful fish. Thinking back now, I did actually, I don't know if you want to say rescue, but I did actually take in some Mbiunas from someone in Massachusetts who was getting out of the aquarium hobby, but I did not personally keep them. I had them in one of my spare aquariums for like a day or two, and then I ended up bringing them to the fish store for store credit. So that would probably be my only experience right now with African cichlids. But like I said, in a couple of months, I'm going to be having my very own African cichlid tank with some peacocks, some haps, and a couple of frontosa. Maybe the Burundi frontosa or the MOBA blue frontosa. Frontosa are absolutely beautiful. We are actually going to have one of our administrators from Aquarium Obsession, Josh from Australia, come on our show, and he's going to educate us all about African cichlids because he knows a lot about African cichlids. All right, so one of the cool oddball fish that you will find living in Lake Malawi, it's a fish I know a lot about, and it's the African lungfish. Very unique looking fish with a face only a mother can love. And boy, they have some razor sharp teeth. My dad had like a 2-foot long African lungfish that tore apart a foot long iridescent shark. It was like seeing an anaconda attacking a capybara. That's how I would refer to it in aquarium terms. It was a disgusting sight to see for sure. Lungfish are very unpredictable, but they're a very cool, unique fish. They do find themselves in the aquarium hobby. And I say they're unpredictable because there are some that are absolutely fine with tank mates, but then there are some killers like the one my dad had. So you never know what you're going to get with the lungfish. You might get a peaceful, relaxed, laid-back, chilled individual. Then you might get one that wants to go Jeffrey Dahmer and kill everyone he sees. So you never know what kind of lungfish you're going to get. But they are definitely a cool oddball fish. Now, I think the Lake Malawi version would probably be the East African lungfish. I think that would be the spotted lungfish, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe Lake Malawi is an Eastern African lake. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it would be the spotted lungfish that calls Lake Malawi home. All right. There are many different catfish species in Lake Malawi. Many of them are probably not available in the aquarium hobby, and if they are, they're probably expensive. I mean, there's a very large growing catfish from the Baggeride family, I think it's called, but they get too large for the aquarium hobby. There are a couple of cool Synodontis cats from Lake Malawi, which we're going to talk about right now. This one is a really cool Synodontis catfish. It is called the Synodontis membracis. I probably mispronounced that. It actually now in 2024 is actually a hemi-Synodontis cat. It is also called in the aquarium hobby the mustache Synodontis. These guys are pretty rare in the aquarium hobby, but they do come in the aquarium hobby every now and then. My dad and I actually rescued one years ago. It was about 14 inches long, and it was a really cool cat. So imagine a really monstrous Synodontis cat. That's what these guys are. They can get up to 20 inches in the wild, but in the aquarium hobby, you'll generally see them at 12 to 14 inches, which is most common in the aquarium hobby. Another cool Synodontis from Lake Malawi is this guy, Synodontis njassae. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's also known as the spotted Malawi squeaker, and it grows to 6 to 8 inches in length. So they get big enough to live at predatory haps if you want one of them in your hap aquarium. I'm definitely going to be getting one of these Synodontis along with a Decorus and maybe some of the Kukatu squeaker cats. That would be pretty cool. Very cool fish from Malawi. You guys know I am a huge spiny eel fan. Typically, when you think of spiny eels, you think of fire eels, tire track eels from India and Asia. But did you know Africa is also home to spiny eels? And Lake Malawi is no exception. Lake Malawi is home to a type of spiny eel. It is simply known as the Malawi spiny eel. Now, the Malawi spiny eel is endemic to the Lake Malawi basin, including the main lake itself, Lake Malawi and the Lower Shire River. It is the only described species of a spiny eel in Lake Malawi, but a brightly marked variant also exists. It is unclear if it is a variant of the Malawi spiny eel or an undescribed species. The Malawi spiny eel reaches about 12 inches in length and likely feeds on invertebrates and small fish. And that is the beautiful Malawi spiny eel. And the last fish we're going to talk about from Lake Malawi is the Lake Malawi killifish. So if you are a killifish lover, you're going to love that Lake Malawi has killifish. I have never personally kept killifish, so I can't speak much about them, but they are a cool little dwarf fish that do well in smaller aquariums and nano aquariums. So those are the aquarium fish species that call Lake Malawi home. Some incredible fish species. The Desmani Evil, very, very mean fish. Yes, absolutely. Ohio Fish Rescue has lungfish. Yes, they have some incredible lungfish. I'm jealous about their Australian lungfish. Those are super rare. And Josh from Ohio Fish Rescue has done a video on lungfish. Yes, I've seen that very, very informative video on lungfish. So definitely go check that out, and you'll learn about some incredible fish from Josh at OFR. He does a big talk on lungfish, and it's very informal. All right, right now we're going to talk about setting up a Lake Malawi cichlid tank. Aquion has some very cool and important tips to know for setting up a African Rift Lake cichlid display. But in this case, we're talking about a Lake Malawi cichlid tank. So here is Aquion's tips for setting up a Lake Malawi cichlid aquarium. African Rift Lake cichlids are among the most colorful, active, and hardy freshwater fish in the aquarium hobby. Their colors rival those of many saltwater fish, and their elaborate mating and brood care behavior are fascinating to watch. Most Rift Lake cichlids originate in Lakes Malawi and Tanganyika, with a few species native to Lake Victoria in East Central Africa. If you're looking for brightly colored freshwater fish with loads of personality, African Rift Lake cichlids might just be the fish for you. Choose an aquarium of at least 75 gallons for a mixed community of Mbiuna rock dwellers, peacock cichlids, and other medium-sized species. Because most African cichlids are territorial, the aquarium should have a large bottom area relative to its volume. Lighting. Live plants are not part of an African cichlid display, and the fish prefer more subdued light, making standard aquarium lighting more than adequate. Color-enhancing bulbs can help accent your fish's natural colors, but are not essential. Substrate. Standard aquarium sand or gravel can be used, but crushed coral, coral sand, or crushed oyster shells will help maintain the proper pH and alkalinity to support good health and color in your African cichlids. A 1 to 2 inch sand bed is best, as many species love to dig. Decor. The African cichlid aquarium should have plenty of rock work, caves, and other hiding places to create needed territories. Limestone and dolomite rock will help maintain proper water chemistry, but virtually any rock or artificial decor is suitable. Now, if you're like me and you love C.A.R.E. life rock, which is generally rock that is used for saltwater aquariums, you can definitely use it in an African cichlid aquarium, because essentially C.A.R.E. life rock is rock that is cured to create higher pHs, in which African cichlids need anyway. So it creates higher pH in water and alkaline, so it's perfect for African cichlid tanks. Make sure you rinse all decorations well before placing them in your aquarium. And definitely in a Lake Malawi or any African cichlid tank, we do not want to use driftwood, because using driftwood will cause an undesirable lowering of pH and alkalinity. So you'll basically be creating a South American tank, which we don't want to do with African cichlids. So when decorating your aquarium, position rocks directly on the aquarium bottom and add substrate around them to prevent stacked rocks from tumbling and damaging the tank if your cichlids burrow under lower ones. Live plants other than Anubias, Java fern, and perhaps hornswort are not practical, as most African cichlids will dig them up, and Mbiuna, being herbivores, will often eat them. If you wish to have plants in your African cichlid aquarium, choose artificial. Most African cichlids do best at temperatures between 74 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Large African cichlids can be rough on heaters, so it is best to use plastic-coated ceramic or stainless steel models as opposed to glass to avoid breakage and a potential electrical hazard. pH should be maintained between 7.8 and 8.4 for Lake Malawi fish. A robust filter with strong mechanical filtration compatibility is a must with Rift Lake cichlids, as many species love to dig, stirring up debris. Hang on the back filters are suitable for aquariums up to 75 gallons, but canister filters are preferred for larger aquariums. That's not to say that you cannot use hang on the back filters on larger aquariums, because you certainly can, because right now my 125 is running just on 3 hang on the back filters alone. So if you are going to use hang on the back filters on a large aquarium, like a 125, just use multiple of them and use the largest hang on the back filters you can. Choose a filter rated at least one size larger than your aquarium and use multiple filters on tanks larger than 90 gallons. Generally, a combined flow rate of at least 10 times the aquarium volume is recommended. Feeding. Mbiuna cichlids are mostly herbivorous, but peacocks, on the other hand, peacocks, haplochromides, and many Tanganyikan cichlids are carnivorous. Aqueon flakes, granules, and pellet foods make an excellent diet for virtually all African Rift Lake cichlids. Frozen and freeze-dried foods are also recommended, but never feed tubifex and bloodworms, as many Rift Lake cichlids cannot digest the high fat content in these foods. You should never feed live feeder goldfish to your African cichlids, as their nutritional value is limited and they can carry diseases. Make sure to research the dietary needs of your fish and choose foods accordingly. For Mbiuna, allow algae to grow on rocks and other decor, as this provides them with a constant supply of natural food. Stocking. Once the temperature is set and a water conditioner has been added, allow your aquarium to run for 48 to 72 hours before adding fish. Here are some helpful tips to make sure stocking your aquarium goes smoothly. Start out with juvenile fish. They will be less aggressive and more accepting of one another as they grow to adulthood. When adding new fish, add new rocks and or rearrange existing decorations to create new hiding places that have not been claimed by existing fish. Ask your local aquarium expert about the aggression level of each species before you buy them. Add less aggressive species to the aquarium first and progressively aggressive species as time goes on. New additions should be at least the same size as the largest or most aggressive fish already in the aquarium. When mixing closely related or similar looking species, try to add them to the aquarium at the same time to avoid dominance from established fish. Never add a smaller member of a species already living in the aquarium. Adult African cichlids are less inclined to quarrel when you crowd them a little, so don't be afraid to stock a little heavily. Just make sure you have adequate filtration and don't add too many fish at a time in a newly set up aquarium. Only add one male of a species if females are present to avoid severe aggression. And that is everything Aqueon wants you to know about setting up a Lake Malawi African tank. Thank you, Aquion, for that great information. All right, so let's see. Killifish go good with endlers. That's very true. Moving waterhead or wave maker is needed for an African cichlid tank. Very, very true. Ceramic heater in PVC works best. Overfilter 10 times. And Northfin cichlid or omnivore pellets are perfect for African cichlids. I definitely agree 100% with that. All right now on Life in Africa, we're going to go ahead and take a quick intermission, which is being brought to us by our awesome supporters, which includes Oasis Aquatics, Little Egypt Aquarium Club, and our wonderful Aquarium Obsession Facebook group, which our founder, Matt LeMay, allows me to broadcast in. So I am greatly appreciative of that. And I'm also going to play a quick promo for this weekend's Saturday Live. When I come back, we're going to conclude the show by talking about Lake Malawi, aquatic animals, hippos, and Nile crocodiles. So the fun continues right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks.
So my name is Tom. I started fish keeping when my grandfather dug a fish tank out of the attic when I was about 5 years old.
So my name's Matt. I'm part of Oasis Aquatics. Been doing this for a long time. Started when I was about 7 years old. 22 years of doing this business.
I'm 29 years old now. I never stopped. There wasn't a day in between where I did not think about fish keeping.
I was doing a vet tech job for many years. Eventually I stopped that because this is my passion in my life.
Matt and I have known each other far too long, as many friendships should be.
And you're like, you know what? We need a fish store. There's no fish stores around here. So we had to make it easy access for everyone, to have many varieties from the little small stuff for everyone to the monster fish keeper people.
No matter what it is that you're looking to do, we can provide it for you.
Aquascapeonline is proud to support Aqua Alex CARDINALE and Aquatic Wetline. Aquascapeonline is an online exotic freshwater fish shop owned by Pedro Villegas, who specializes in piranhas, stingrays, cichlids, catfish, and more. Aquascapeonline has been monster fish keepers' go-to place for exotic large growing predatory fish for over a decade. Looking for a specific type of piranha? Aquascape carries both Pygocentris and Cerasalmus. We also have Exodon tetras, wolf fish, African tiger fish, and other toothy aquatic monsters. Check us out today. www.aquascapeonline.com.
Little Egypt Aquarium Club is a proud supporter of Aqua Alex CARDINALE and Aquatic Wetline. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is an aquarium club in Redbud, Illinois, but it's also an online tropical fish supplies website. On the Little Egypt Aquarium Club website, you'll find tropical fish food such as repashy and flakes. You'll also find medications and breeding supplies and even live angel fish. Everything and anything you may need for your freshwater aquarium can be found at Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Orders over $200 get free shipping. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is giving a 10% discount by using the code ALEX. Remember, save 10% by using coupon code ALEX. Little Egypt Aquarium Club, my Shopify. Come.
Do you have kids who want to get a fish tank? Do your kids want to enter the aquarium hobby? The aquarium hobby is very relaxing and rewarding, but it can be quite the undertaking for a first-time hobbyist. Luckily, there is one young man who was once in your shoes. He decided to research and learn about the aquarium hobby, and used his experiences to write and publish a book for future kids entering the aquarium hobby. Introducing Fish Keeping for Kids, written and published by Brian Conway. Everything you need to know about the aquarium hobby in one book. Fish Keeping for Kids is a guide to keeping fish and other aquatic creatures. It uses easy-to-read language and images to help the information be easily understood. While it was written especially for kids 8 years old and up, it is a good guide for people of any age. This book covers all the basics and some intermediate level topics to help someone get started and learn more about caring for fish and other aquatic animals. What do you get from Fish Keeping for Kids? Friendly. It was written by a kid for kids. Simple. Written in easy-to-understand language for kids and adults. Informative. Full of charts, graphs, and diagrams to make it easy to follow along with. Complete. All of the things someone should know when they start fish keeping. For more information and to purchase a copy of Fish Keeping for Kids, please visit www.fishkeepingforkids.com. That's fishkeepingforkids.com.
Do you have an obsession for aquariums and tropical fish? Well, so does Aqua Alex CARDINALE, and that's why he is now an admin on the wonderful Facebook fish keeping and aquarium group Aquarium Obsession. It's also why I'm so happy to tell you about this group. It is a place for every fish keeper, whether you are keeping freshwater or saltwater or even goldfish. We also welcome reptile and amphibian enthusiasts. Aquarium Obsession is one of the only Facebook fish keeping groups where our members come first, and we want them to feel part of our fish family. Members are encouraged to participate in group activities such as Aquatic YouTube Thursdays. Fish tubers are welcome to share any of their fish keeping or reptile videos on Thursdays. We also have knowledgeable staff including Aqua Alex. So what are you waiting for? Come find out what the obsession is about our group. Check out Aquarium Obsession on Facebook today and join our group. Type Aquarium Obsession in the search bar or go to this link, www.facebook.com/groups/JOMF group.
Get ready for the next Saturday Live. The next Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale airs live Saturday, March 23, 2024, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and it will be a great show setting the stage for Easter. The animal of the week will be the raccoon. Learn about North America's inquisitive mammal. The Oasis Aquatics featured fish is a Lake Malawi African cichlid known as Super VC10 cichlid. Aquascapeonline featured fish is the Luteus pleco. Aqua Alex features the bright red jewel cichlid. Chef Alex will have 3 delicious recipes: a Lent-friendly recipe, a diabetic-friendly recipe, and an Easter recipe. Alex will discuss things to do for Easter and will answer the questions: are bunnies good pets? As WrestleMania 40 draws closer, WWE fan Alex Cardinale will discuss 2 more great WrestleMania matches. Yankees fan Alex Cardinale previews the New York Yankees 2024 regular season. Sergeant Slaughter will have facts on Lion Country Safari and Carvel ice cream. All that and more live Saturday, March 23, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific only on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale. Be there or be square.
Welcome back to Life in Africa, and tonight we are talking about one of the largest lakes in the world, Lake Malawi, home to over 700 species of cichlids. And most African cichlids in the aquarium hobby come from where? Well, they come from Lake Malawi. That is the lake we have been discussing tonight. We've already given out information on Lake Malawi, and we've talked about the fish species that call Lake Malawi home. And now we're going to learn about the hippo and Nile crocodile, which are a couple of aquatic animals that live in Lake Malawi. So let's go ahead and learn about the hippopotamus right now, one of the largest mammals in the world. I think it's like the top 3 largest mammals in the world. It is so large that it is covering my entire face. Hippo. So, after elephants and rhinoceroses, the hippopotamus is the next largest land mammal. Hippos are recognizable for their barrel-shaped torsos, wide opening mouth with large canine tusks, nearly hairless bodies, pillar-like legs, and large size. Adults average 3,300 pounds for males and 2,900 pounds for cows, females. Despite its stocky shape and short legs, it is capable of running 19 miles an hour over short distances. Hippos inhabit rivers, lakes, and mangrove swamps. You'll find them in mangrove swamps. Territorial male bulls each preside over a stretch of water and a group of 5 to 30 cows and calves. Mating and birth both occur in the water. During the day, hippos remain cool by staying in water or mud, emerging at dusk to graze on grasses. While hippos rest near each other in the water, grazing is a solitary activity, and hippos typically do not display territorial behavior on land. Hippos are among the most dangerous animals in the world due to their aggressive and unpredictable nature. They are threatened by habitat loss and poaching for their meat and ivory. Hippos are semi-aquatic and require enough water to immerse in while being close to grass. Like most herbivores, hippos will consume a variety of plants if presented with them in captivity, but their diet and nature consist almost entirely of grass, with only minimal consumption of aquatic plants. They prefer relatively still waters with gently sloping shores, though hippos may also be found in very small numbers in more rapid waters with rocky slopes. Hippos mostly live in freshwater, but they can be found in estuaries. Despite being semi-aquatic, an adult hippo is not particularly a good swimmer, nor can it float. It rarely enters deep water, and when it does, the animal moves by bouncing off the bottom. An adult hippo surfaces every 4 to 6 minutes, while young need to breathe every 2 to 3 minutes. Hippos coexist alongside a variety of large predators in their habitats. Nile crocodiles, lions, and spotted hyenas are known to prey on young hippos. Beyond these, adult hippos are not usually preyed upon by other animals due to their aggression and size. Cases where large lion prides have successfully preyed on adult hippos have been reported, but it's generally rare. Crocodiles are frequent targets of hippo aggression, probably because they often inhabit the same riparian habitats. Crocodiles may be easily aggressively displaced or killed by hippos. In turn, very large Nile crocodiles have been observed preying occasionally on calves, half-grown hippos, and possibly also adult female hippos. Groups of crocodiles have also been observed finishing off still living male hippos that were previously injured in mating battles with other males. The hippo is considered to be extremely aggressive and has frequently been reported charging and attacking boats. Small boats can easily be capsized by hippos, and passengers can be injured or killed by the animals or drawn in the water. In 2014, 10 years ago in Niger, a boat was capsized by a hippo and 13 people were killed. Hippos will often raid farm crops if the opportunity arises, and humans may come into conflict with them on these occasions. These encounters can prove fatal to either humans or hippos. and that's information on hippos, one of the largest mammals you'll find in Lake Malawi. Now let's finish off the show by learning about the Nile crocodile, an animal that Steve Irwin always tried to mess with, the Nile crocodile, a very interesting animal. The Nile crocodile is a large crocodilian native to freshwater habitats in Africa, where it is present in 26 countries. It is widely distributed in sub-Saharan Africa, occurring mostly in the eastern, southern, and central regions of the continent, and lives in different types of aquatic environments, such as lakes, rivers, swamps, and marshlands, and of course, Lake Malawi. They are capable of living in saline environments. This species, though, is rarely found in saltwater, but occasionally inhabits deltas and brackish lakes. Nile crocodiles are opportunistic apex predators. They are very aggressive, and they are capable of taking almost any animal within their range. They are generalists, taking a variety of prey. Their diet consists mostly of different species of fish, reptiles, birds, and mammals. They are ambush predators that can wait for hours, days, and even weeks for the suitable moment to attack. They are agile predators and wait for the opportunity for a prey item to come well within attack range. Even swift prey are not immune to attack. Like other crocodiles, Nile crocodiles have a powerful bite that is unique among all animals, and sharp conical teeth that sink into flesh, allowing a grip that is almost impossible to loosen. They can apply high force for extended periods of time, a great advantage for holding down large prey underwater to drown. Nile crocodiles are relatively social. They share basking spots and large food sources, such as schools of fish and big carcasses. Their strict hierarchy is determined by size. Large old males are at the top of the hierarchy and have first access to food and the best basking spots. Crocodiles tend to respect this order. When it is infringed, the results are often violent and sometimes fatal. Like other reptiles, Nile crocodiles lay eggs. These are guarded by the females and males, making the Nile crocodile one of the only few reptile species whose males contribute to parental care. The hatchlings are also protected for a period of time, but hunt by themselves and are not fed by the parents. The Nile crocodile is one of the most dangerous species of crocodile and is responsible for hundreds of human deaths every year. I definitely would not want to get bit or killed by a Nile crocodile. I imagine it's not a pretty sight. All right. Good live show, Malawi. Very informal, very thorough. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am glad that you enjoyed the show. And with that, we have reached the conclusion on Lake Malawi. I hope you all enjoyed learning about Lake Malawi. I certainly did. I learned a lot about Lake Malawi and especially cichlids. And I can't wait to have a tank of Lake Malawi cichlids. So thank you all for tuning in. Whether you watched on YouTube or you watched on our Facebook group, Aquarium Session, I greatly appreciate your view. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to me on YouTube, The Real Alex Cardinale, for more fish keeping videos. In a couple of weeks, on our next episode of Life in Africa, we're going to learn about another African rift lake, and we are going to learn about Lake Tanganyika. So in a couple of weeks, get ready to learn about Lake Tanganyika. With that being said, enjoy your Lake Malawi African cichlids. If you have an African cichlid tank, I'll be joining you really soon. With that being said, I'm Aqua Alex Cardinale from Green Acres, Florida. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching. Happy fish keeping, everybody. Today's episode of Aquatic Wetline is brought to you by Oasis Aquatics. Find your Oasis today. Find your next fish at oasisaquaticsnj.com. Check out Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you very much for watching this livestream of the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for your patronage for the last 10 years. It's going to be incredible riding into the future with more awesome live streams and videos. Aqua Alex Cardinale, Chef Alex Cardinale, WWE fan Alex Cardinale, Detective Alex Cardinale, and the Real Alex Cardinale would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this live stream, please smash that like button. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and become a legendary viewer and a legendary Cardinale. Check out the Real Alex Cardinale on social media. Facebook Alex Cardinale, American Alex. Instagram instagram.com/Alex Cardinale 93. Fish keepers, please join our amazing Facebook fish keeping group Aquarium Obsession. Check out and support Oasis Aquatics, our amazing supporter since July of 2023. www.oasisaquaticsnj.com. Follow Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good night and thanks for watching. Stay legendary.